Okay, let me break it down for you.
Judgment, prejudice, bias, it all still exists.
If I want to take this huge, overwhelming problem, I have to start with myself.
Finally clicked for me.
Compassion is a necessity.
For the last 200 years, we've explored the depths of the ocean, the macrocosm of space, and the microcosm of cells. But the one realm we have yet to truly understand is the human mind. And the window we have into the human mind is through dreaming. Dreaming, something we all experience as humans, and yet something we know almost nothing about. By the time we reach the age of 80, we would have dreamt for 20 years of our lives. So I'm here to talk to you about storytelling, about imagination, specifically about dreaming, because the stories of our dreams define the stories of our lives. It is said that negative experiences stick with us stronger than positive ones. I remember what made me crave a better understanding of dreams, the experience that began the progression of my intrigue. I woke one night to a friend screaming in their sleep and went into what I would describe as mild sleep paralysis, where I experienced the most intense fear I've ever felt. I can't completely describe what I saw or how I felt, but all I knew is that I was in this weird state between sleep and awake. I remember feeling that at any moment I would die, that whatever lurked in the darkness would come out and end my life right then and there. It was one of the first times I really questioned whether I was awake or still dreaming. I was utterly terrified and paralyzed. It's incredible yet frightening how dreams have the ability to conjure such strong emotion within us all. But it's enough to make us pay attention, and that's what I did. So to begin with the basics, when we dream, our brains are firing, as if we were in fact awake. The only difference is that neurons are firing in slightly different areas of the brain. Areas in charge of memory, information processing, visual experience, creativity, and emotion are all activated when we sleep. Rapid eye movement, otherwise known as REM sleep, is a period of sleep when we dream. Look at these brain scans and notice the difference between our brains during non-REM sleep, when we're not dreaming, and REM sleep, when we are dreaming. Our brains are alive and awake, literally glowing during REM sleep. We experience a stream of thought and imagery when we sleep, similar to the constant flow of thought running through our conscious minds. The more we pay attention to the stream, the more powerful it becomes. And when we dream, its potential is limitless. People used to realize this potential. Dreaming used to be an essential part of humanity and culture, but we have lost it. We need to begin to recognize the true potential of our dreams, because our unconscious mind is the closest we'll ever get to the divine, the obscure, the unexplained. Joel, an old teacher of mine, said to me once that sometimes he wakes up and can only remember an image or a sentence from the dream he had the night before. But once he begins to write it down, a story unfolds. He said he wonders whether he had actually dreamt what he had written, or if he subconsciously conjured up a story from the fragment he recalled. Some believe that these fragmented images or words are leftover memory from the neurons that had been firing the night before. As we established earlier, when we enter REM sleep, our minds function similarly to when we're awake, meaning these neurons begin to fire again. However, some believe that dreaming is simply the random firing of these neurons, meaning that we're not actually experiencing a scene or a story. But let's think about this for a moment. We know there's so much more to dreaming than this. Over time, we've begun to ignore our right brains. We are so focused on an answer, the science, the explanation, that we've forgotten to use our creative minds. We've moved too far forward paying attention to our rational minds when it's our dreaming minds doing all the magic. Einstein said, "Our intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and our rational mind is a faithful servant." We've created a society that honors the servant but has forgotten the gift. After 40 years of empirical research, a man named Carl Jung arrived at a stage in his life where he openly admitted that science could only bring us so far. He discovered the power of dreaming. Einstein came to the same realization. He discovered the power of the imagination. There are many more like these two who came to the realization, who realized the power and potential of the creative mind, that science could only bring us so far, that there is something bigger out there, something more. Yes, we have the little dreams, like when you're cold in your dream, but you wake up and realize you've simply kicked your blanket off. But what about the big dreams? The dreams that bring us forward, speaking through our imaginations to tell us something important. Dreaming has played a huge role in society from the beginning of time. A role big enough for us to realize that dreaming has to be so much more than the random firing of neurons. Imagine a world without this. Without this, and this, and this, and this. All of these things were created because of a dream. Siddhartha woke from a dream that led him on his journey to enlightenment. Paul McCartney composed the entire melody for his song Yesterday in a dream. The Aborigines refer to the stories of the world's beginning as their dreamings. And I dreamt the introduction to this talk. For many, these people in particular, empirical thinking could only bring them so far. It was the moment of the dream that acted as a springboard for creation. Yes, dreams inspire individuals, but they also create and inspire entire tribes and cultures. There's a society from the Andaman Islands in the Indian Ocean called the Angi tribe. Instead of experiencing something visual, the Angi dream was sent. They collect the individual dreams to create what they describe as a spider web, where they connect all the dreams to create one larger story. This sense of communal dreaming is something that has existed throughout time and has developed our society today. Dreaming defines our society, creates and develops our surrounding world before our very eyes. This used to mean more to people, like the Angi tribe and the Huichol Peyote tribe in Mexico, who create the stories of their lives around the collection of their dreams. We still experience it. We all dream of the archetypes, the common dreams. We all have prediction dreams, which are literally telling us what comes next. Our lives revolve around our dreams, and we don't even realize it. So in case you're confused, here are some of the common dream types. The common dreams: falling, being naked in public, or being chased. The predictive dreams, where we experience something in a dream and it really happens days or months later in reality. Lucid dreaming, where you're in a dream and you become aware that you're in a dream. Many people talk about flying when lucid dreaming. Carl Jung studied dream archetypes. He studied images that all humans seem to experience through their dreams and what they represent. Jung proposes a very interesting idea. These symbols conjure certain emotions in every human being. For some reason, we all feel the same way when confronted with these images. And what's even more amazing is that across cultures, we all dream about them. Jung also talks about the concept of a collective unconscious, the idea that all humans can connect and access a higher consciousness that brings them together. That this realm holds information and imagery that can only be accessed on certain levels, dreaming being one of them. Nikola Tesla, a physicist and futurist, said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. If in the known world we are able to transfer billions of bits of information across space and time in a split second, why couldn't dreaming be a way of transferring and receiving information?" I remember when I woke from my first lucid dream, I looked in the mirror and couldn't even recognize myself. I felt inspired, different. The ability to think consciously in a tangible, limitless world. It's indescribable. So yes, these dream categories are one thing, but the experience takes it so much further. I also noticed that after months of dream journaling, as I became more in tune with my dreams, the more interesting, obscure, and useful they became. I began to play with the divine, to really use and admire a space where the impossible became possible. I also took inspiration from dreams I'd had, those others had shared with me, and some of the common dream types to create film sequences which I have embedded throughout this presentation. Yes, it is true that dreams usually have a direct correlation with what we're going through in our lives. But what about the unexplained dreams? The prediction dreams? The big dreams? Dreams like these are proof that we have access to something greater, that there is so much more than images and commonalities. How could we all experience these similar dreams if the byproduct theory was correct? The fact that we experience these similar scenes and images shows that we must be accessing some common supernatural realm, the collective unconscious. We need to begin to understand the true potential of our imagination. We think we're dreaming something meaningless, when in fact we're creating something real, and we experience this chemically in our bodies. Have you ever woken up from a dream and felt differently about someone the next day? This is called dream residue. Have you ever wondered why or how this happens? What makes a dream feel so real? Déjà vu is a striking example of dream residue. We meet someone or enter a scene that is familiar. We know we've been there before. Most often, this is because we're catching up in waking life with an event that first took place in a dream. All humans have neurons called mirror neurons. In our dreams, these neurons are reacting to what we experience. Say you're being chased. These neurons will fire, giving your body around 85% of the same emotions or reactions you would experience if you were really in that situation, really being chased. So say you've woken up feeling particularly angry at someone due to a dream you had about them. It's because your body had physically reacted to those person's actions in your dream. Our imagination is powerful enough to allow us to experience our dreams as real events. One of the most memorable and fascinating aspects about dreams is the experience we are able to have because of it. Think about the intensity of emotion and sensation dreaming allows us to experience. How it allows us to wake up and feel differently. We subconsciously change something about our waking lives due to our dream experience. We can't help it. The people we have met are those we have become, all because of our imagination. These experiences prepare us for something. Losing a loved one, preparing us for loss. Being naked in public, to prepare us for embarrassment. Being late, to teach us how to deal with our mistakes. Falling, to prepare us for shock or fear, the uncontrollable aspects of life. Have we ever really considered that? The fact that we chemically experience our dreams as real events really prepares us. We say these common dreams are the little dreams, but in fact, they can prove to be quite large, predictive in their own ways. So if our imagination is capable of this, just imagine its true potential. Our unconscious mind is like an iceberg. We can only really see and understand 10%, while the other 90% is attempting to express itself through our dreams and imagination. In dreams, one conquers, walks, or flies simultaneously, and the imagination has room for it all. We need to understand the power of our imagination. We need to realize the power of dreaming. We see this floor as a solid, but we know it is not. We know it's in fact thousands of moving particles, But our minds allow us to make sense of the world around us by seeing it the way we do, by seeing the floor as a solid object. What we see is an illusion. Dreaming is also a kind of illusion, but it allows us to see the obscure. Our minds are powerful enough to alter our surrounding worlds, whether it be in a dream or in reality. In dreams, what we see often does not make sense, but in reality, our world does not make sense. We force ourselves to make sense of it. So if what we see in this reality is in fact an illusion, why aren't the illusions of our dreams considered equally real? If you still don't believe in the power of dreaming, it doesn't matter. Your imagination still creates something beautiful. Even if the byproduct theory is true, we still dream. We are still dreamers. We can't even begin to understand the potential of our dreams and our minds. But I challenge you to pay attention to them, embrace them, and express them, because they're beautiful and they're life-changing. Thank you.